Vintage Coach bags have a way of finding me, and this one showed up with some baggage.
She was gifted by the Posh Duck consignment shop as is and was immediately quarantined because, well, some suspicious spots made an appearance.
We'll circle back to those. Meet Miss Bradley, made in the US in 1993. She looks deflated, lackluster, and exhausted.
But who wouldn't be after 32 years of carrying other people's baggage?
I was really hoping this was just leather bloom, but a quick UV test confirms my suspicions. See all those glowing dots? It's official. She's come down with a case of mold. Alright, no time to waste. Miss Bradley needs a spa day.
We're starting with distilled white vinegar to break down the mildew.
At 5% acidity, the vinegar disrupts the pH balance needed for mold to
For a
grow.
more serious case, I'd recommend an enzyme cleaner.
I'm being super thorough because mold is one of my biggest ticks. Bradley sat on in the sun for a few hours and soaked it all up. Not only was it super nice out, but the UVC rays also help with mold. Then I hung her up to fully dry as she enjoyed the sunset from the patio. I like to use super dry packets in tight spaces to absorb any remaining moisture. And just like that, no more mold. The vinegar and sunshine worked their magic. But now we have another problem. She smells like a salad. You can use some baking soda to help neutralize the smell, but that can take a few days. So I like to use this unscented disinfectant spray. It removes germs and odors, and it's technically made for sports equipment. The main ingredient is hypochlorous acid, the same ingredient used in skincare like your Tower 28 spray. Then a quick pass with the thread zapper to melt down any frayed ends and keep things tidy. Now that she's freshened up and no longer musty, it's time for a relaxing saddle soap scrub. Remember to work in sections and wipe clean with a dry microfiber cloth. I'm gently removing her hardware by undoing the prongs on the backside. Quick check just in case. We're in the clear. Let's clean up the brass pieces with some Brasso and a buffing block. Friendly PSA to always use protection. I use these all the time for my little craft projects. Also great for paper cuts. Now let's go in with a fine buffing block to bring back its natural luster. It's hard to see, but it makes a big difference. Oops, almost forgot about the strap hardware. Now comes the best part. A nice relaxing massage with some leather balm.
Once I can get this open, that is.
She was dried out from the vinegar, so I'm using something heavier to rehydrate. Well deserved after everything she's been through. I can already feel her softening up. As always, buff it all out with a soft horsehair brush for a smooth, glowy finish. And finally, let's pop her accessories back on. As a reminder, here's what Miss Bradley looked like before. Tired, moldy, and looking rough to say the least. And here she is after our spa day, looking radiant and glowing, even without the UV light. Miss Bradley is back, and you'd never guess that she was in her 30s. She's missing her hang tag, but we have plenty to borrow from. The crossbody was a bit too long for me, so I tucked it in and styled it with the Coach Chunky Chain Strap. Paired it with this vintage Patagonia sunshirt with zip pockets, gray pinstripe slacks, and Kill Bill Onitsukas. Thank you to the Posh Duck for sending her my way.
Bradley is in good company.
What do you think?